I'm Eddie Garcia with your Puck Podcast Hockey Minute, a recap of the night in the NHL and a look ahead to tonight's action. Well, the NHL held the first game of its first and probably last Four Nations face-off, a 2-week, 7-game mini tournament featuring NHL stars from Canada, the U.S., Sweden, and Finland. It was Canada against Sweden kicking off the tournament in Montreal, with the Canadians pulling out a thrilling 4-3 overtime win on Mitch Marner's goal in the 10-minute 3-on-3 overtime. Sidney Crosby had 3 assists to lead Canada. Mark Stone, Brad Marchand, and Nathan MacKinnon also lit the lamp, with McKinnon's coming on a opening minute power play for Canada that featured McKinnon, Crosby, Marner, Connor McDavid, and Cale Makar. Kudos to Sweden for staging a late rally to force the overtime. They got third period goals from Adrian Kempe and Joel Eriksson Ek. Jonas Brodin scored the opening goal for Sweden in the first period. Sweden goalie Philip Gustafsson had a strong game despite allowing the 4 goals, while Jordan Bennington got the win in net for Canada. There was one big down note amid the thrilling game. That was an injury to Vegas Golden Knights and Team Canada defenseman Shea Theodore. He was hurt on a clean and seemingly routine hit into the boards. However, he's now been ruled out for the rest of the tournament, and the Golden Knights have listed him as week to week. The USA and Finland will have a tough act to follow tonight as the two teams square off in their opening game in Boston. That's the second game of the tournament. Winnipeg Jets netminder Connor Hellebuck expected to start in net for the U.S., while Nashville Predators goalie UC Saros will get the start for Finland. Face-off is at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Meanwhile, the NHL and NHLPA announced that going forward, the World Cup of Hockey, a similar event to NHL players representing their countries like the Four Nations Face-Off, is coming back. It will be played every other year in combination with the Olympics. So next year in 2026, we have the Olympics in Italy. 2 years after that, in 2028, we'll have a World Cup of Hockey. 2 years after that, 2030, the Olympics. And then 2 years after that, 2032, World Cup of Hockey, and so on and so forth. I'm Eddie Garcia. If you like this, we do it most weekdays. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out our podcast recapping the past week in the NHL every Monday morning. You can find it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever you get your podcast. Just search Puck Podcast.